Hey guys, it's FifaRalle here and welcome to the Skill in Career mode. It's episode 6 and we got some pretty tough fixtures in this episode. First up, we're facing Chelsea, who compared to sort of the real life version are doing pretty well here in this sort of other version of reality, I suppose you could call it. They are sort of in the top part of the table, so definitely a tough opponent to face away. And MacArthur, he was asking if he could get some playing time because he felt he was in good form, and I thought, you know what, he could replace Jedinak for this Chelsea game because MacArthur actually been scoring a couple of goals for us in preseason. I also think he got one against Hull, if I remember correctly. So he's been doing pretty alright, and I decided to start him up against Chelsea. And it was a game where I went with the mentality, if I get a draw, I'd be happy. If I could win, that would be spectacular. And if I lost, I wouldn't be surprised. That was sort of what I thought about the game. And it ended up being a game going a little bit box to box. Chelsea with the first chance, us with the next one. And then down the other end, Ivanovic running on through, sending it into the box. A header from Chelsea, but a good save from McCarthy there, denying Costa the goal. And then it's our turn to go on the attack. It's MacArthur playing it on through to Bolasie. He spins around. But Courtois also had a pretty good game in the net, and he would deny me on several occasions. Here's McGeady on the ball, couldn't really get in for a good shot, and in the end, the effort we get in is not exactly the best with a sort of informed Courtois in the net. We're not going to get past him with such a shot, and in the end, we concede a header, similar to the Arsenal game. We also conceded headers there. It seems to be what we struggle with a little bit. Maybe we need some bigger and stronger centre-backs. I'm not too sure, but right after that, I decided to get Arroyo on instead of MacArthur to try and get a bit better counter attack going in some way, because I felt we needed somebody in the midfield that could just bring us forward, and it was Arroyo to make stuff happen. Look at this nice couple of skill moves and then the pass and move sequence, and in the end, it's Arroyo to score with the super sub. Really nice play here, and he's showing us why he maybe should have a spot in the starting 11, because he is performing really well. McCarthy, however, not too well there on the free kick. He gave away a corner, but we got a counter-attack going from the corner, and we found who else than Arroyo. He got onto the ball, he had a couple of skill moves. He beats two defenders here out of the wing. He goes into the box, but on the weak foot, Courtois just catches the ball, and the game would end at a 1-1. And to be fair, I was pretty happy with that result. It was not bad getting a 1-1 draw away from Stamford Bridge. We got a point, and right now we are sitting on 5 points from 4 games. So we lost to Arsenal, we drew against Chelsea, and then Aston Villa as well, I believe, and then we got a win against Norwich. So it's okay considering the opponents we had. I say we're sitting on an alright amount of points. And then it was transfer deadline day, and somebody mentioned in the last episode, try and get Bellerin on a loan, and it was sort of struggling a little bit for pace when we played Arsenal on the fullback position. So I thought, you know what, it might be a good idea to try and go for that, and Arsenal accepted it. So we do get Hector Bellerin in for a 1-year loan, and then it was basically just for all the clubs to do crazy business. Alaba and Verratti, those transfers already went through earlier in sort of the transfer window, but this transfer deadline day just went crazy. We would also sell on McCarthy here, one of our aging centre-backs, which we wouldn't really have used for, and I thought, let's get a bit more money, and maybe we can use that money for sort of weights budget in the January transfer window and get some pre-contracts. And apart from that, you see Oscar went to PSG, Lacazette to United, and Müller went to City. A lot of stuff happening, and we sent Friars out on a loan there as well. And the transfer deadline was not over, because just before everything ends off, we see Boateng going to Chelsea. I mean, what is happening on this transfer deadline day? £270 million spent across all leagues. That is just a lot of money spent on transfer deadline day. A lot of big transfers as well. Pretty ridiculous. But yeah, as we go into a new month, I thought I'd show sort of the squad report. We have a couple of players improving, like McGeady. A little bit surprising. Mbolo gone up 2 ratings, which I'm happy about. It's because we pretty much only train him, but I think if we can sort of develop him into that sort of star striker, it'll be worth it, and then sort of he will be our target man, the guy to make stuff happen, and then we have the skillers around him. So yeah, the training, I decided to throw it in here, but I'll pretty much just be simulating all of it, and here you can see his stats sort of improving bit by bit, because I saw somebody mentioning in the last episode they would like to see the training, so we can include it, but I'm just thinking over sort of full season, will it become too repetitive doing that week in and week out? You let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll keep doing this for a couple of episodes, and if it becomes too repetitive, we can sort of remove it. But apart from that, we're back to playing in the league, and we just played Chelsea on the top of the league, on the top part of the league, and so was City. So yeah, a really, really tough fixtures we had. We had Arsenal, then we had Chelsea, now City. It is not easy games. It's not easy games. We're playing with sort of our strongest lineup, and City, they were playing with their new player Müller into the starting 11, pushing De Bruyne and Silva onto the bench. Quite surprising there, but yeah, we got our first chance. Lovely panna from Bolasie, but he couldn't get a good shot in. And Caballero, who was starting in the net, he would save it, unfortunately. So no goal for us, and instead it was City on most of the chances. Even though there weren't too many chances in this match, they would score, and it was Thomas Müller scoring his debut goal in the Premier League. And then, yeah, nothing really happened before the 71st minute. City didn't really create anything, and I didn't create anything before that. And it was Bolasie onto the ball here. Not much stamina left on him, but he's able to go into the box, get a shot in, but Caballero would save it. Couldn't really put it into the far corner. And then Aguero would break on through, and then a terrible clearance to see Thomas Müller getting a brace on his debut for City and pretty much put the game to bed. It was not a very good game. We didn't play too well, and we do get a loss. So right now, it's not looking too amazing in the league. We only got 5 points from 5 games. But then again, considering the opponents we had, I think it will look brighter in the future, because we already faced most of the top sides. I guess we still have a couple ones that could cause us trouble, but then we also have a lot of mid-table teams, which I think we should be able to get some points away from, and then some of the lower league teams, or lower table teams. I'm not too concerned just yet, because we faced a lot of strong teams, and other teams will probably drop points to them as well. And if we can get into around that sort of, I don't know, between 4th and 8th, that is sort of the spots I wanna reach to get some sort of European qualification. But before we talk about European qualification, we're into the Capital One Cup. It's sort of a cup where I'll be playing a lot of my reserves players and give them some playing time and make somebody sort of prove to me why they should get into the starting 11. That's actually Millwall with the first chance of the game, but after that it sort of was a picture of Crystal Palace, because after going from playing really, really tough opponents, it felt a lot easier to play this game. And MacArthur, he shows why he should be in the starting 11 as well. He scores there, nice little goal from distance, a little Rabona pass there to Sacco. He heads it back to Elyounoussi here, breaks on through into the box, but couldn't really get past the defender here, and it falls back to Punchin on the sort of edge of the box, I guess we call it. Passes into the middle to Sacco. He stops up and he tries to make something happen, and he actually picks up a free kick. And we have a player. We actually have 2 players on the pitch. We have Sacco, who can shoot with the left foot, but I felt this was better for the right foot. And Arroyo got some good free kick stats, good curve, decent power and accuracy. So he'll step up for that run up, long run up, and he will send it into the back of the net, bring us up 2-0 in the 16th minute. Looking pretty good here compared to some of our other games. Here we have a lead. I'm happy about that. But look at that deflection. Lucky to not go in. It hits the post there, and it doesn't give Millwall sort of a chance to come back into this game. And then we're going to the second half. We pick up yet another free kick. And I thought, you know what, Arroyo scored before, so let's give him another go on this one. And he steps up and he scores yet again. And I think once we play in the Premier League again, I think I'll put him into my starting lineup just right away, because I don't know who he will replace. Maybe McGeady, or maybe we'll play him in the center of the midfield. I'm not too sure, but 2 goals here, and he also scored against Chelsea as a substitute. He's been performing well, and that is pretty much going to be where we end off this episode. We are on through into the next round of the Capital One Cup. And in the next episode, we're actually going to play Watford, who's sitting 19th in the table. And if we can get 3 points there, we sort of will jump maybe mid-table-ish and get away from this 16th place we're sitting on at the moment. But as you can see, it was actually City and Chelsea at the top of the table. We just faced those 2 teams. So I think we have sort of a more informed period to come, hopefully, as we're facing some of the teams lower in the table. But for now, we're going to end it off. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode, and that is pretty much all. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.